Hi everybody, and welcome to the video, about how to multiply and divide positive and negative integers. Give me 1 second while I get all my colors set up. Okay, so if we look at how do we multiply and divide, we're going to focus on doing the multiplication division regularly, like we always would, irregardless of positives and negatives. The big thing here is if they have the same signs, they are positive, right? So if it's positive, positive, or negative, negative, they are both A-okay. If they have different signs, meaning a negative and a positive, or then a positive and a negative, those are no bueno. So let's go through a couple of examples. Let's multiply first. So what I mean by multiply normally is I'm going to just do 2 and 7. So if I think about 2 times 7, 2 times 7 is 14, and now I take into consideration the negative signs. I have a negative and a negative. Those are the same. That means my answer is positive. If I do follow the same process in the next one, 3 times 1 is 3. If I then take into consideration my signs, I have a positive. If there's no sign, it's positive. And a negative, those are different. Okay, if they're different, then my answer is negative. If I have 3 signs, I can go ahead and do this step by step, just like we have been. So I'm going to do 9 times 5. 9 times 5 is 45. If I have a positive and a negative, those are different, which makes this negative. Then I'm going to multiply that by 7. So 45 times 7, 5 times 7 is 35, carry my 3. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 3, 29, 30, 31. So I get 315. And when I take into consideration the positives or negatives, I have a negative and a positive. A negative times a positive, those are different. And because those are different, that's going to be a negative. Okay, one last multiplication example. 9 times 4 is 36. When I check out my signs, I have a positive and a positive. Those are the same. And because it's same, that's a positive. Then I still need to multiply by this negative 6. So I'm going to take a side step here and do 36 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36, carry my 3. 3 times 6 is 18, 19, 20, 21. So I get 216. And then if I look at my signs here, I have a positive and a negative. Those are different. So since they're different, my answer is negative. Division works exactly the same way. All of these are division problems, they're just written differently. So I'm going to go ahead and focus on the numbers first. 16 divided by 4 is 4. If I then look at my signs, I have a positive divided by a negative. Those are different. Because they're different, the answer is negative. If I look at the next set, 50 divided by 10 is 5. Looking at the numbers, if I have a negative and a negative, those are the same. That makes the answer positive. When they're written in the way that you see down here, this line right here, that line is the same thing as divide. So this is the same thing as negative 64 divided by negative 8. Okay, so if we go ahead and do 64 divided by 8, 64 divided by 8 is 8. And when I check out the signs of my numbers, I get a negative and a negative, same signs, which means my final answer is positive. So the next one, I see I have 12 divided by negative 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay. And then from there, if I have a positive, so I have a positive number and a negative number, positive divided by negative, those are different, which means my final answer is